Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this battle's already started. It's already underway, and we've got a KV-1S being driven on the south spawn of mines by Milestone 77. So that was quite a shock to the system. He must have loaded in very late. But anyway, what can we say? Well, he's in the KV-1S. Now, that's a tier 5 Soviet heavy, but it's actually lighter in weight than the KV-1. It was derived a little later on, 1942. It had less armour, but it was more equivalent to the T-34 really, because it only had the 76mm gun, but you could fit an 85mm or the 122mm dirt gun, and it's a lot more fun with the dirt gun. Okay, he's going around the corner as a DW2 there. Can he get a name? Well, he's firing through that brick wall. Oh, knocked the wall down so you can see it. No, lost sight of him. Now you can always distinguish the KV-1S because it's got an IS or an early version of what looks like a cross between the KV-1 turret and an IS turret, or an early version of the IS turret. And it's also got those fuel tanks on the back. But what Milestone 77 has recognised is the enemy has actually got the centre of the map at this moment. So he's coming up to the centre to try and stem the tide of tanks coming towards their cap area. Now I'm not sure if he's using the 85mm, we can quickly check that. Yes, he is using an 85mm gun, which means he's got better penetration and better damage. Gets a good shot there, 167 hit points into the T-67, into his lower plate as well. But just around the corner is a Type 95, he auto-aims into that for 182. And I think he's going to be a little careful about moving forward. Well, the Type 67's gone down, but we receive a shot from the enemy Arty, which is an Su-5. It's going after that Type 95, auto-aims, takes him out of the game altogether. Now auto-aiming on the 60G FT, that's the tier 5 Chinese tank destroyer. And he got a hit, going for the next shot, loaded, rounds out the game, and he's out. T-67's next target. Now instead of actually moving forward, which is what the T-67 wants, he's backing away so he can go unsighted. It's wanting the T-67 to come round the corner instead. There he is. Yep, he did do that. He actually came round, took a big hit for 326, and he's bounced one round, but he did take one and takes the T-67 out with the next round. That's his third kill. He now owns the top of the hill, so they've turned the situation around, far from the enemy owning all of the hill and a huge tide of tanks coming down the west side of the map. They now own the hill thanks to Milestone 77, his careful reading of the map. Now you can see an Arty round going in there. Now the Arty on our side is an AMX 105 AM. That's a French tier 4 Arty. This is a tier 5 game. Now there was a DW2 there. Oh, there's a P2640 there. That's the tier 4 Italian medium, and he's just picked up some spotting damage on that. But he can't get his gun depressed to shoot at them. I think he's going to have to go around the corner in order to do that. There's the DW2. Oh, we can get a shot on them now, but the DW is trying to hide. That's not going to work. And he gets a good round in for 171. Can he get another one? No, he's got behind the building. But now he can, and he takes him out of the game. 79 hit points. That's his fourth kill. He now has the high caliber. There's one of the enemy tank destroyers, the Su-85B. He's running, trying to get to the back of the map. Gets a good shot at distance. Slow shell, so he did need to take aim carefully. There's the Su-5. Oh, he misses him. He didn't give enough lead on him. And the Su-85's headed for the corner of the map. Now the difficult thing is now that there are still quite a few enemy out there. There's still 6 enemy out there. They're only 1 tank ahead. Now there are no tanks ahead. The scores are even. The trouble is that those tank destroyers are now in an ambush position. Now he's moved forward so he can't be seen. He's still behind the bushes effectively. He's still in cover. They don't know he's moved forward because he went unsighted while he was behind the brick wall. There is one of the enemy, the M8A1. That's a tier 4 American tank destroyer. And he gets a shot in and tracks him, holds him in place, but he would have been spotted. And carefully aims and takes out the M8A1. That is his 5th kill. Now there is a P43 nearby. Or there was a P43 nearby. He's just been taken out by our Su-85. But he's pulling back behind because the KV-1 is taking damage, and this is the worry. There are tank destroyers out there who are firing, and we've just lost the KV-1. 2 tank destroyers out there. We know that the Su-85 ran away. There's the Matilda. And she fires. The shell goes low, very low. He was aiming for the weak point, the driver's hatch, and gets one shot in, but the Matilda gets behind cover. Now this is awkward. There are still 2 tank destroyers on the enemy team. One of them's a Marder 38T, and we have to assume that because that KV-1 was damaged, and the shots that went in to damage the KV-2 had about the same sort of hit points you'd expect from the 38T. There's the Su-5. He's coming up to a firing position, and we take him out with one shot. 127 hit points, but we would have been spotted. So he's gone behind the rock to go unsighted again. Okay, pulling out to sea. No, nobody in sight. Okay, there's only 2 left. The Su-85B we saw running for cover, and the Matilda, who was behind that rock on the plateau above the enemy cap. Now we have to assume the Matilda's still there, because if he pulled out, we probably would have spotted him. But the Su-85 could be running towards the south. Or what's he going to do now? Well, looks to me like Milestone is going to go around the hill, and he's going to come up the other side and approach the Matilda from the east, not from the south. And therefore the Matilda might not be looking in the right direction. It's a very smart move, but it also could backfire on him, because if the Matilda does spot him, and the Matilda is fairly much a noob, a new player. If he spots him, then obviously he can get quite a few shots into him. Remember, the Matilda's got a squeeze bore gun, a 2-pounder, which can actually penetrate the armour on the KV-1S quite easily. In fact, it can penetrate the KV-1 quite easily. And the KV-1's got better armour than the KV-1S. Okay, he's going to go straight for it. He's going to drive in, using the buildings for cover as much as he can. We've just got to hope and pray that the Matilda is sleeping on the job and not aware that the KV-1S is approaching. He's got enough hit points that he can take 6 shots from the enemy. The Matilda's moved! He's gone to the hill! There he is! And he's firing in this direction. He fires one snapshot in for 155. He only needs one more shot, and that Matilda is toast. And he does so! Takes the Matilda out the game. There is only one remaining enemy, the Su-85. In the last scene, he was in grid square A1. So, let's go and get him. Now, the Su-85 has also got a Soviet 85mm gun. So he can do a lot of damage, and he could be in the bushes. No, there he is. He's making a run for it across the water, and I think he's going to chase after him on the right side of the rock. And it looks to me like the 85mm is trying to hide behind the rock in the corner at Nigel's spot, and Milestone's dialing in on him and gets a 21 hit point hit. He's using HE, which is the correct ammo. Now, did he get a hit and kill? No, he didn't. Now he's going to use AP. Misses on that round. Oh, this is painful. This time he gets it. 65 hit points, and he wins the game in the cap. That was his 8th kill. He gets a Radley Walters. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's an ace tanker for milestone 77 in the KV-1S. He also picks up a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a master gunner for getting 5 armor penetrating hits in a row, a duelist badge for taking down 2 tanks that did damage to him during the battle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in the battle. And he managed to get, well, according to this, it shows 8. So very good round for a tank to get 8. He also picked up a Radley Walters Medal. He killed at least 8 of the enemy to get that. The high caliber for dealing the most damage in the battle, and a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. And he picked up 5 bonds. Now I think that these are a bond each, so this must be worth 3 bonds in this battle. And the win rate was 10,958, which is very high, super income standard. So let's have a look at the damage, the team damage. He did the highest damage on his team, 2,188 hit points of damage. The highest scorer on the enemy team was the P43. He managed 1,502. The next highest scorer on Milestone's team was the SU-85, right at the back of the map, and he did 752 hit points of damage. And he managed to get 4 kills, but Milestone managed 8 kills, and the highest number that the enemy managed to get was 3, and that was from the P43. The P43 got the cool-headed because he actually received multiple hits which didn't penetrate whilst he was under fire. And when it came to XP, again, it's Milestone 77. He managed 1,497 experience points from that battle. The next highest one was the SU-85. He managed 569. That's almost 1/3 of the level that Milestone managed. So 3 times the next highest scorer, or slightly less than 3 times. But a very good round all the same. So let's have a look at detail report. He fired 24 rounds of 85mm ammunition. He got 19 direct hits, 18 penetration, 1 splash damage. He did damage of 2,188 hit points overall, and 174 of that was at more than 300 meters. He received 7 hits during that battle. 3 were penetrations, 4 were non-penetrations. He was very lucky on those 4 because the KV-1S really isn't that great in the way of armor. He did also block damage of 380 hit points from those 4 non-penetrating shots. He spotted 5 enemy vehicles, did damage to 9 of the enemy, that's 3/5 of the enemy team, and killed 8 of the enemy, that's more than half of the enemy team. He caused damage assistance of 722 hit points, and he managed to get 33 cap points whilst he was in the cap during that game, right at the end. He earned 34,871 credits on the standard account, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he took away 29,911 credits. He received 5 bonds for the battle, as I said, 3 for the Radley Walters, 1 each for the Top Gun and the High Caliber, and he earned 1,497 XP, and there was no multipliers, so that's all he took away. So, particularly good battle there. Well done, Milestone 77. Excellent round, and I'm sure you were very pleased to get the Radley Walters. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.